Well, my next guest is Austin Kaiser. You know him as the caddy for Xander Schauffele, and Xander, of course, wins gold in Japan. What a huge week it was for them. And Austin, what's going on today? How are you? You're in Memphis. So much travel going on.
Yeah, it's been hectic. A lot of traveling, a little jet lagged right now. So sorry if I misspeak or anything like that. But yeah, it's been a hectical month stretch here for us.
For sure. Well, and obviously winning the gold, being there with Xander, your old college teammate, you've known him for years. What did that mean to you to get the win there in Japan?
It was huge for us, confidence-wise, going forward. Since we've had a lot of close calls in tournaments, and we've led some tournaments and let them get through our fingers and whatnot. So it was good just to be able to close the tournament, especially for his confidence moving forward. Having the lead going Saturday and Sunday and keeping his composure the way he did, it was huge for his confidence moving forward.
Has it sunk in yet for you? I mean, it's been a couple days, but still a huge win.
Yeah, it's starting to sink in a lot more now that everyone coming up to us here in Memphis and kind of, wishing us well and congratulating us. So it's starting to sink in quite a bit. Everything on social media that's happening. So it's been good.
Well, speaking of the congratulations, what have been some of the more impactful, like kind of memorable congratulations you've gotten here in the last few days?
It's good seeing other caddies giving you congratulations. Having your own peers give you congratulations, tell you how good of a job you did. I think that means more to me than if another player, another sport, like for instance Michael Phelps kind of congratulated both of us. But having your peers kind of congratulate you means a lot more to me personally, just because it shows that they respect you and whatnot. So I think those have all been great. All the caddies have been so good to me, so it's been good.
Well, hold on. You can't drop a Michael Phelps bomb without explaining that a little bit. Okay, so where were you guys and how did that all happen?
It was more, it's been more on social media where all these people are congratulating you. I haven't obviously met any of them in person. But like just having them tag you in a post saying, hey, congrats to you and your caddy should get a medal, and all this. But, it's been good. I haven't gotten personal congratulations from them in person, but, having them tag you in social media and stuff, it's pretty cool.
Well, speaking of social media and getting a medal, Robin Gillis on Twitter wanted me to ask you, do you agree that caddies should also get medals?
I'm kind of on the fence about it. Everyone has asked me, I've seen Max Homa's tweets and all these other people saying that I should get it. I honestly am not too worried about it. I just wanted the win. I've told Xander in the past, people have brought up like money and trophies and whatnot. And I told them, I just want wins. Like it's good for our legacy as a team. I just would rather have a win. And I told him I'd rather have second place money and a win than first place money in a second, and he's kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool, So when it comes to those kind of accolades, I mean, would it be cool to have one? Yeah, it would. But, I'm not going home with, any negative ideas in my head that I didn't get a medal. So it doesn't affect me too much. Would it be nice? Yes. But I'm not getting too picky. I really wanted the win.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the win, like was there a point where you got emotional in the aftermath of just realizing, wow, how big this was?
Yeah, not so much the aftermath. When I called my wife about 20 minutes after we finished, the first person I called, she was bawling. So I got emotional then. I got some tears in my eyes because I realized this is a big deal. I've had people stay up. All my friends text me like, dude, we stayed up till 2 a.m. to watch. So at that point I knew like, okay, this may be a big deal. Cause I sure as heck wouldn't have stayed up to watch golf at 2 a.m. Like, I don't care who was playing. I would not be doing that. So, yeah, it kind of sunk in, when she called me and she was crying, I definitely got a little emotional.
Yeah. Your wife, Tiffany, checking in. I mean, those are rare phone calls to have. I mean, you just never know how many big wins you're going to get in your career, right?
For sure. I mean, I don't take them for granted because I know how hard it is to win on the PGA Tour. And, a lot of people don't really realize that. You see people on the internet and everything so negative about not winning. And, it's hard to win out here. Even though you got Dustin Johnson, John Rahm, like you don't see anyone doing what Tiger did and winning 8 times or 5 times in a year. If you win twice in a year, it was a heck of a good year.
Big time.
Yeah, I don't take those for granted, and I know what they mean. So
yeah. Well, you mentioned buddies texting you late 2 a.m. their time, whatever it was. What kind of response did you get? Like, was it a large number of text messages you got from everybody, or what was that like?
When I turned my phone on about 15 minutes after I finished, I think I had like 219 messages. And I didn't even know I had that many friends. I don't know who texted me, but I was getting text messages out of the woodwork from people that don't even golf, So that was the cool part. And I kind of helped me put into perspective how big of a deal the Olympics was, because I was getting texts from people that have no idea anything about golf. And they're like, hey, good job. I saw on TV. And I'm like, wow, this is kind of a cool thing. So that definitely helped put it into perspective of it, what's going on here. So,
well, obviously a long week, some great stuff you guys got done together as a team, but what are some of the highlights that really stand out for you just as you look back on it?
The one thing I wish, would have happened that week, I didn't get to go to the Olympic Village at all. Like me or Xander really didn't get to go. And that's the only negative thing I could think about that week that I wish I would have gone, because I think that would have been a highlight for sure. Just to see everything, see all the athletes doing their thing. So I wish I would have gone. I mean, I'm hoping next time, we'll make the team and I'll be able to do it then in Paris. But, other than that, like just enjoying food there. Like the food is really good there. We had a guy bringing us food, basically like an Uber Eats every night, because we couldn't leave the hotel. It was golf course hotel, and like we couldn't leave. So luckily we had a personal guy bringing us food, and the food is amazing there. So that's one of the things. And just the overall atmosphere when you get there, it's such like a team atmosphere, but everyone's together competing. So it's really good vibe you get out of that whole situation. So
And here's what's happened after you guys got the win. What wasn't it the next morning, right? You guys had a night over, and then the next morning you're on the plane, right? Going to Memphis. What was the celebration like on the plane? Because I know one of your fellow caddies had a birthday. The drinks were flowing. Like, paint us a picture.
So the night we won wasn't too hectic. Xander actually, his grandparents came in and visited us at the hotel. So we maybe had 4 or 5 beers max each. But we were so tired and exhausted that, we called it an early night. I mean, 12 o'clock. So, but that following morning, I didn't expect to get on the plane and start drinking, but we got on the plane, and Christian Bezutenhout's caddy, Johan, he came up to me. I was just sitting in my chair watching a movie, and he came up and he's like, hey, let's go have a drink. So I walked back there, and there's probably 5 caddies back there just enjoying drinks, kind of, just talking about the week. And I think we were being a little too loud, and we were drinking a little bit that, next thing you know, there's 15 people in there, and we actually drank all the beers on the plane. They had no more beer when we landed. So I don't know how many beers we drank, but I was drinking Coke and whiskey, and then it was just mayhem. And I don't know if you saw my Instagram. Penner, who caddies for Cam Smith, ended up sharpening his 2 middle teeth. I don't know how that came in, but ended up sharpening his 2 middle teeth, made it look like he was missing teeth. And that just, I mean, if that's not painting a picture for you right there of how crazy it was, that I don't know what else would. But it was a lot of fun. Like, I enjoyed my time. Even Xander went back there and had a couple drinks with us, and Mark Leishman was back there. So it was a great little 4 or 5 hours we had on that plane. So,
and just talking, go ahead.
Yeah, just talking golf, not even necessarily golf, just, everything, life, and just talking random stuff that ended up being hilarious. We were all laughing. It was a great time.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, is that you're telling me, hey, the night before, it wasn't that crazy. I had a couple beers. Wait, you posted, yes, I do follow your Instagram, on your Instagram story, the video in the bus with you, Xander, your dad, or Xander's dad, You got "We Are the Champions" blaring in the background. You're biting the gold medal. You tell me that's not off the clock. That's not crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't crazy, especially compared to the following day. But yeah, that van ride meant a lot to me, just because we were sitting in there and we were talking about the day and just how crazy everything was, and you could tell a lot of weight was lifted off Xander's shoulders that night. Just the way he was acting, his smile. I haven't seen that smile in a long time. So that van ride was really cool to me. So it was a good experience.
A long time, just being like, what? How long would you say?
I mean, we, in my mind, we won the tour championship last year. I know that might not be, politically correct to say, but, he didn't even get to experience that win because it technically wasn't a win. So you don't get the same vibe. Like, even though we won that week on a gross aspect, not a net tournament, I'm probably stepping the lines here, but, he didn't get to celebrate it like it was a win because he technically didn't win. So, I'd say the last time I saw him was probably the last time we won, where he had that big of a smile, and that was Century. The night we ate dinner in Maui after he won was probably the last time I saw him smile like that. I mean, he's always smiling, but it was a different, different vibe in the way he was going about, the rest of that night. So.
And how did it feel to be able to share that moment, that video of you on Instagram, biting the gold medal, "We Are the Champions"? Share it with his dad and Xander. Like, that's a pretty cool thing, huh?
Yeah, it was awesome, because me, we're all a close-knit team, so just the fact that it was us three and the driver and like nothing, no one else. It was a really good moment for all three of us as a team, because it was like so much weight lifted off our shoulders, such a big day, it ended up being a great experience. In fact, we had the medal in there. It was awesome. Like, I can't put it into words,
For sure. We talked about how emotional you got, right? 15 minutes afterwards, calling your wife Tiffany. What about Xander? How emotional did he get kind of in those, after the win?
I think it was hard for him to get emotional, just because he had the podium. He had 2 hours of media right after we win. I was watching the playoff for bronze, and he was doing media the whole time. So he's like, "Well, where were you?" And I was like, "Oh, I was just watching the playoff, like watching, trying to get Colin to win, bronze, which would have been sweet for us." But yeah, he was just constantly doing media. And then after he was done, they said, "All right, you guys are good to go." We met in the locker room to clean up his locker and whatnot. And I think that's when it finally hit him, because he came up to me. We gave each other a hug again. We were just, we're acting like brothers, just having fun, and you could tell at that moment, it's like, yeah, we did this. This is where it's at, So I think that was the moment, because he couldn't, he didn't really have time to like celebrate until everything was said and done, so.
Well, either in that time that you just described there, or even on the plane, was there a cool exchange you were able to have with Xander to realize, hey, listen, wow, we did this. We got this, converted the lead. We got the win.
Yeah, it was probably that moment in the locker. He comes up to me, punches me in the chest a couple of times. He's like, I don't want to say what he said, because I probably get in trouble for it, but there were some explicitives, and there was a lot of happy moments in there. So that was probably the moment where, the weight was just completely lifted off both our shoulders, and we were just relieved. I guess that's all you can say. We were relieved,
For sure. No, that totally makes sense. You know what? You guys also shared an interesting moment from driving back from Aronimink, when you guys almost made that playoff. Remember, 2018, you're trying to make the Ryder Cup team, and you and Xander got the call, or Xander got the call from Captain Furyk, said, "Hey, you're not going to make it this time." Xander put it on speaker. Can you just kind of describe for us what that was like, and how much now you guys really want to get to the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a devastating moment, because we both knew it was a possibility we weren't going to make that team. We both knew if we won Aronimink, it would have been a different story. We came really close. We finished one back of the playoff. So it was raining. I remember it specifically. It was raining. He gets a call. He points his phone to me, and it said, Jim Furyk on it. So I'm like, okay.
Uh-oh.
He puts it on speaker, turns it on, and he's like, he was quick and to the point. He said, "Hey, Xander, great playing this week. I'm just calling to let you know this isn't your time to play Ryder Cup, and you will have plenty of experiences coming down the road, but I'm going to pick Phil and Tony. I hope you understand. And he hung up shortly after, and we both looked at each other and we're just like, well, you know, it wasn't meant to be. You played well. Nothing we could do now. Let's just say we were bummed, really. It wasn't more of like devastation. It was just like, we had our chances and we didn't pull it off. So nothing really more to that, you know. So
yeah. Well, but now obviously the Ryder Cup coming up. You know what? It reminds me of team play and the President's Cup. And remember the celebration. I'm looking at my phone. You texted me your celebration from 2019. And I can't believe I can't find it. But you remember what you looked like in that after party. You had a Heineken beer in your hand. You were dancing at the onesie of the American flag. Well, first of all, tell us about what your perspective was like on that celebration, because it was pretty epic.
Yeah, I mean, going into that final day, none of us expected to win. I mean, to be honest, I could tell you, Tiger Woods himself didn't expect us to win. He knew we could do it easily. You know, our team was stacked and we had the capabilities of doing it. But the fact that we came back after, you know, that deficit and we pulled it off made the celebration even more, you know, more powerful, more fun, because everyone was just so relieved after such a stressful week. You know, we're all stressed out the entire week. There was no alcohol. We had a dry week, so everyone was on edge. And after that, you know, once that final putt dropped in, everyone's just like, give us the beer, like, let's go, we're finally ready. So yeah, when I drink, my dance moves tend to come out, and you know, it was one of those that was caught on camera. So what can I say? It was a fun night.
But you were totally in your element, man. I mean, you look like you were just on top of the world.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like that. I mean, I'm a really competitive person, so whenever we win, I live it up. You know, it's what we do and what we play for. You know, we want to win, so when you pull it off, it's that much, you know, more exciting.
For sure. Well, hey, I want to ask you a little bit about the dynamic between you and Xander. Why do you guys work so well together? I know you're college teammates. You guys know each other for years. But what is it about your partnership that works so well?
Yeah, like you said, we've known each other for years, and I know, you know, what makes him tick and his capabilities on and off the course, and we're not afraid to tell each other, you know, what's on our mind. Like I'll tell him, he tells me, and you know, we both accept the cold, honest truth. So I think there's just no boundaries with us where, you know, we're not afraid to say something, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, and he puts that out on the table, like, hey, if you have a problem, like, let's just get this out on the table and say it. And so there's no miscommunication. And that's kind of what we strive for, is just no miscommunication and no, you know, errors through that. So I think that's what makes it so strong. I mean, can't tell you what makes it strong, but just that natural brotherhood. Like, I see him as a brother and he sees me as a brother. So it makes it easy for both of us.
For sure. Well, hey, I got a couple Twitter questions. At Golf Rider Kiel said, how did the competition at the Olympics feel different from a PGA Tour event for you?
You know, it wasn't too much of a difference, honestly. It kind of just felt like a limited field, like a WGC event, because there's only 60 guys. So it kind of had that feeling to it. Obviously, being in Japan and the restrictions with COVID and everything, it made it a little more less intimate, I should say, I guess. You know, we were all separated and things like that were difficult to get by. But other than that, it felt very similar to a PGA event. I mean, most of the guys there are members on the PGA event anyway. So it was nice just to be, you know, around them and talk with them. So it kind of made it feel like a PGA event. So it wasn't that much different.
Yeah. Another question from RLM Grandpa at RLM Grandpa. He said, which part of Xander's play was the most significant in getting the gold medal? Like, what if you had to pinpoint it? Like, what part of it?
Oh, 100%. It was his putting. You know, we switched back from the arm lock before the British at the Scottish Open we did, and I think it made the world of difference. Putted really well at the Open, honestly, just didn't hit it too great. So, I mean, that's what kind of held us back from placing really high at the Open. But other than that, I mean, I think it was his putting 100%. Coming down the stretch, he made 5 or 6 putts that were just really clutch, you know, and in the moment where that's kind of looking back, that's where we didn't win the tournaments is we missed out on 2 or 3 putts that, you know, easily could have won us tournaments. And this week he made those putts and yeah, he was just really clutch with the putter all week.
Well, you talk about, I think about round 3, like there were a lot of putts that really kind of kept the momentum going, you know, on Saturday, right?
Oh yeah. Round 3 was honestly the most important day. Looking back, I know we had that 8 under on Friday, but if Saturday didn't turn out the way it did, we wouldn't even been able to have a chance because it could have easily been a 3 or 4 over day the way he was hitting it. And he, you know, he got up and down from some spots that were just not great, putted amazing. So if it wasn't for Saturday's 3 under, that could have been a 3 over, we wouldn't even have the chance to win the gold. So Saturday was honestly the most important day to us.
And take me through Sunday a little bit. The hot start, you guys are just out of the gates, it's on fire. What do you think was just working so well with that?
We were just playing smart golf. There's a difference. We didn't play, I don't want to say we played conservative and, you know, with a lead, you know, a lot of guys will play conservative and, we played conservatively smart. Like we knew when to take our chances and when not to, you know, so, you know, he's making his putts, he was hitting his drive straight and at that course, if you hit the fairways, you can score low there. I mean, you saw Sabatini shoot 10 under. I didn't even see his round, but I'm sure he was hitting fairways, you know, and making putts. So it was doable out there if you hit fairways. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely doable.
What conversations come to mind the most towards the end of the back 9 on Sunday? I mean, you guys had a big up and down from 98 yards to win it. I mean, was there anything kind of in the lead up to that last, you know, moment there that was important conversation wise?
It was more on 14. You obviously saw we hit an errant drive and I mean, we got away with a great bogey. I hate to say that on a short par 5, but he made a bogey that was, you know, the game. She made a 6-footer sliding downhill that, you know, kept it going. I knew where we were relative to lead and everything. I knew we had a 1-shot lead going into 14. I asked Bones Mackay what was going on, and he told me. And Xander didn't really know, so I didn't really want to tell him at that moment because I knew there was a board on the next hole, and I knew he would see it. So we parred, and then all of a sudden, you know, we're tied for the lead. But I knew we had one more really easy hole, and that was 17. If we can just get through 2 pars, birdie 17, and then all we would have needed to do was par 18, and that's what happened. So after 14, I kind of told him, I'm like, hey, we're tied for the lead right now. And if I would have told you on Thursday that we'd be tied for the lead with 3 to go, you would have taken it right then and there. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So, I mean, from that moment on, he was all attack. So, you know, I'm just proud of the way he handled everything because most guys would have lost their mind after that 14th hole. You bogey a par 5 when you have a 1-shot lead and you're looking for birdie. So that was the moment I think that definitely propelled us to the end.
For sure. Well, and for you, what does it feel like when your player makes the winning putt for a gold medal?
I mean, I don't know if you saw on camera, but in the background, you could kind of see me fist pump because I was sitting there. I didn't know if I should look at the putt or the board on 18. And I looked at the 18th. I saw he was about to take it back. I peeked over at the putt and I saw it go in and I just threw up a fist pump. I mean, he didn't even throw up a fist pump, but I did. It was such a good moment. I mean, they're the ones you dream of, you know, making the last putt on the final hole to win it all. So you could see my face in the picture and I was just ear to ear smiling. So it was unbelievable feeling.
For sure. Well, you know what? Like, there's a lot of golf fans that follow Xander, and they see, as you said, he didn't show a lot of emotion, even in the winning putt. So, what is something about Xander? You know him as a former teammate, as a friend, that maybe golf fans would think is funny or just would be amused by?
You know, the way he handles himself. Like Xander doesn't show a lot of emotion, but from behind the scenes, he's a goofy kid. Like he'll be the first one to tell you he is a goofy guy who, you know, he's not weird. He's just goofy, you know, he does his things and a lot of guys laugh at him just for the way he does them. So, he's just, you know, he's really easygoing, very young at heart. So a lot of people don't see that on TV because he doesn't show much emotion. You would think, oh, this guy's lame because he doesn't fist pump and throw clubs and all this, but he's really not. You know, he's really easy to get along with. And I mean, I'd be hard to find someone that says anything negative about him. So yeah, he's a good guy. I mean, simple as that.
For sure. Well, hey, you know what? We're gonna wrap up here, but what are you always gonna remember about that week, that gold medal winning week for Team Schauffele?
I'm definitely gonna remember the Sunday. I mean, because just being in the lead, you know, you kind of fall back on things that happened during the leads and how you could handle future leading, you know, incidences and whatnot. But yeah, I'm just gonna remember that Sunday, that final feeling, like you said, of him making that putt. It was just such a euphoric feeling that it's something that's going to be engraved in me, you know. So that's one thing I'll remember from that week for sure. But I mean, I love Tokyo. We've been a couple times, and I just love the culture, the food, everything about it. So it was just an all around great week. So. And
the last thing, you got the playoffs coming up. How do you feel about that opportunity for you guys?
It's good. You know, I think he is, even though he did technically just get this win, we're still not in Maui for the Century because we haven't won a PGA event. So
wow,
we're still foot to the metal. You know, we're trying to win to get into Maui just because he plays so well there that we know it's a good opportunity to win again. So, you know, obviously East Lake suits him really well. He's played really well there, and we're just looking forward to getting that win in before the end of the year.
Good stuff. Well, Austin, enjoyed chatting with you here for a bit, and have a great week in Memphis, man. Should be a nice tournament out there for you guys.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Garrett. Appreciate it.